My name's Bill DeVille, and ever so happy to be joined by Of Montreal. We're playing a sold-out show at First Avenue tonight, and a new album called Skeletal Lamping. Kevin and the band are here. Nice to see you.
Thank you.
How's it going, gentlemen?
It's good.
And your?
My name is Brian.
Brian, nice to see you.
My name's Davey.
Hi, Davey. How are you? So you guys,
Wonderful.
how was the show in St. Louis last night?
It was great. It was killer. There was some action. There was some jumping. There was some wild oddity dancing happening.
Well, that's good. That's good. I saw that you guys are playing Philadelphia on Halloween night.
Yeah, everybody's talking about it.
Who's going to dress up as Rocky? None of
Rocky
you?
Balboa.
Rocky Balboa. Philadelphia.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good one, though.
Is Halloween a special night for Of Montreal?
You would think
night's
so.
Halloween.
That's the thing. It's going on tour. We're playing on Halloween. What are we going to do? We're kind of nervous about it.
Yeah?
Because we know people expect like a lot from us.
Yeah.
You know, because we already are.
Our
like
parents and stuff.
everybody.
What, do you got your costumes picked out?
I don't know.
It's a big old secret.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a secret.
It's a secret to ourselves. We don't even tell ourselves what it.
Yeah.
We're in denial. Total denial.
You have a new album called Skeletal Lamping. It's been out. We're loving it, by the way, on The Current. What can you tell us about the new album? I saw that you again recorded it on your computer in your was it home studio?
Yep.
Do you love doing it that way as opposed to recording in an actual studio, Kevin?
Well, I've never actually been in a real studio for any significant amount of time, and I always just like recording at home because I think it gives it a very personal quality. You know, like there are no other records that will sound like that really, and you know, for better or for worse. But even though it doesn't sound like mainstream radio, you know, but I like that. I like that it has like this like kind of it has a sort of more like naive quality to it or something.
So, do you do this all yourself, or do you involve the rest of the band of Montreal? Or?
Sometimes, but most of the stuff I do by myself, you know, because really for me it becomes a sort of like meditative process, you know, where I just sort of disappear and leaves all track of time and space and everything, and just like, you know, build these arrangements like one instrument at a time, and it's really fulfilling. It's really excellent for me on like so many different levels, you know, because it's sort of like escapism, but then you also get something out of it, something productive with your time.
Yeah. One other thing I noticed is the artwork. You have this origami-influenced kind of pop-up poster. Is that an effort to encourage a hard copy purchase of the CD, or is it just strictly for artistic reasons?
Mainly for artistic reasons, you know. It's like we put out so many records, and every time it's like basically been in like a jewel case or a digipack or whatever, just like every CD you ever see. And, you know, we sort of realized like, well, it doesn't have to be like that. You know, nowadays, you know, people are looking for different ways, you know, to sort of branch out and just do different things. And, you know, we sort of took advantage of that. And luckily we have an excellent label and an excellent relationship with our label where they allow us to do these kind of crazy things that most labels would be like, no, that's cost prohibitive. But
yeah,
for them, they're like, no, that's great. Like they got really excited about it, doing something different.
That's really cool because it doesn't seem like people take the pride in the CD and the package and the actual piece of goods, you know?
Yeah, we've sort of realized that, like, you know, the CD object has no real value, you know? And so we didn't want to just keep producing these things that have no value, so we wanted to produce things that had value beyond just, you know, the thing that protects the CD from getting scratched, you know? So we wanted to create art objects, you know? So we created a whole bunch of different art objects for the record. I mean, it's actually a whole collection of art objects that came out at the same time with the record, and they all come with, like, download coupons. And, yeah, so it's sort of, I mean, it's sort of revolutionary in a way just because no one's ever done it before.
Yeah.
And it's really exciting because it gives us an opportunity to explore, you know, our creativity and try to bring these interesting things to life.
Yeah. Do you guys do all the artwork yourselves?
My wife and my brother.
So you keep it in the family then, huh?
Yeah. So I don't have to pay them.
Yeah.
No, just kidding.
All right.
Half-truth.
How about some live music here from Of Montreal? What are you going to play for us?
This first song is called Triphallus To Punctuate.
All right, and here it is on 89.3 The Current. Do you want to explain the title?
I guess in like Greek theater back in the day, there was a character that had three penises, and it's a triphallus character. You know, obviously is like very virile and like, you know, good with the ladies.
Excellent. Well, here it is on 89.3 The Current.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
She sang, we wear the party all over our bodies and faces.
letters, but allows me to speak in wild abstraction. The senseless killing gifts God gives us have no one to love them. You don't the clock that kills you twice on the way down. You might forget them, but you're not me as they don't forget about you. How they claw me in my false or foster reflection. Is that my reflection in the Damascus blade?
No.
How they claw me in my foster or false reflection. Who am I to defy my wicked master? You should call me sometime. Won't answer, but at least I know you care.
How will you know it was me?
What do you think? I ain't got you in my caller ID. Guess I should be happy for your success and all that. But your fame ain't done nothing for us. I was your supporter kid back when no one else cared. Ah yeah, alright, no, I waved your flag back when no one else even thought to. I just want things to be the way they used to be when you only saved the sea for me. The Greek chorus of my skull is choking on their dulcet tones. 10 lashes on the ass of anyone who even tries, and heaven's patience glaring down at us, filling your womb with black butterflies. You don't have to try to steal no nothing from my heart, because for you anything you want is always free. Texting your freaky fantasies to my phone, black condoms on vanilla ice cream cone. Now that I'm not a virgin to you, you'll never walk alone. Far beyond a self-abuse or shame, I live to make you call my name. Oh, call my name. Call my name. Guess I should be happy for your success and all that. But your fame ain't done nothing for us. I was your booster, babe, back when no one else cared. Ah yeah, alright, no, I celebrated you, hauling for you, girl, back when no one else even thought to. I just want things to be the way they used to be when you only set a place for me. Come back, come back. I've been so abused by this black karma. I think I know where I got it from.
89.3 The Current, live in the studio with Of Montreal, Kevin on the piano, Brian on the guitar, and Davey on the bass. That's Triphallus To Punctuate. One thing I noticed, Kevin, is that you put out a lot of material. You know, most bands put out a record like every 2, 3, 4 years. You put out one virtually every year. Where do all the songs come from?
I don't know. I'm just always, trying to be creative, and I don't ever really want to take vacations or take breaks or anything like that. So just, always trying to be productive.
So you always have like a notebook with you, jotting down lyrics, pretty much?
Stealing ideas.
Isn't that the nature of the rock and roll beast?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're a big Prince fan, I take it, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were just talking about Prince on the taxi ride over here.
I imagine so, because he's, of course, from here. What is it about Prince you like?
Well, I think he's such a versatile artist, like he was able to reinvent himself so many different times and so many different looks and so many different musical styles, and he's obviously from another planet.
Yeah.
Musically, he can do things that no one else can do, and his voice is incredible. Everything about him is amazing. I sort of worship him.
Yeah. Who else's music inspires you? What made you decide to become a musician? Was it somebody's music in particular? Or?
Well, Prince was, one of the early influences, which is kind of funny. I mean, definitely it was like the secret thing that I had to kind of keep from my parents, because if they saw it, they would, want to throw it away or something. But
what album was it? 1999? Or?
Well, luckily my sister is a bit older than me. Her boyfriend was a huge Prince fan, and so he turned me on to all this stuff like Dirty Mind and Controversy, and basically right from there, I kind of freaked out. I remember listening to Controversy, not really understanding it, because I was 10 or 11 years old, and just being I don't even know it. What is he talking about? I knew it was sexual, and I knew, you know, it was like provocative, but I didn't really understand what it was all about. But yeah, I mean that, and then, you know, then I sort of got really into the Beatles a little bit later, and the Kinks, and, you know, the whole '60s psychedelic pop thing, and
Sure.
and then sort of it came around to, you know, listening to everything, you know, Sly and the Family Stone, and Curtis Mayfield, and Faust, and Ocho Mutantes, and, you know, all sort of like really creative, kind of like experimental pop music. 'Cause I always love pop music, you know, it has to have like a good melody, and but also it has to be unpredictable.
And one other artist I noticed that you must be a fan of because you name dropped him in a song is Shuggie Otis.
Oh yeah,
That stuff is super cool. I love his music.
yeah. I mean, I love all this. There's so many great artists. And the wonderful thing about music is, you know, you think you like know everyone,
Yeah.
and then someone's like, "Have you heard this guy?" And you check it out, and you're like, "Oh my God!"
Yeah, and
no.
he's relatively obscure. I mean,
Yeah.
besides being the son of the legendary band leader Johnny Otis and playing a lot of guitar with blues guys like Otis Spann and some of these people.
Yeah.
Really interesting. What makes for a good cover? I noticed that the last time you were here back in 2007, you covered, who was it? Lindsey Buckingham's song Trouble, and you covered The Kids Are All Right. What makes for a good cover?
What do you think, Brian?
Hopefully, we just have some connection to it. I think anything that we play, we generally love and have a love for.
Yeah.
I mean, that Lindsey Buckingham song, I mean,
It is a
Kev-
catchy little pop ditty, isn't it?
I never thought Kevin would pull that one out because I didn't think he liked Lindsey Buckingham. And
No, I
then-
just heard it we were at a party or something, and a DJ played it, and I was like, God, this is fantastic. Who is this? When he told me it was Lindsey Buckingham, like, I mean, I sound like I hate Lindsey Buckingham,
Yeah.
but I couldn't really,
Yeah.
I was kind of shocked, you know, that it wasn't like a Fleetwood Mac song. It's just like from one of his solo records. And, I mean, that's kind of the crazy thing is like, yeah, you could spend, that's a great, I was trying to make that point, is like, you know, it's like, you could spend your whole life always discovering new music, new songs, and, you know, you can never get to a point where you know it all.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about in the radio business. You've traveled around a little bit. You've lived in Norway. Didn't you grow up in Detroit? Is that where you grew up?
Yeah.
And you spent time in Cleveland. You lived here in the Twin Cities for a while. What made you decide to call Athens, Georgia, home?
Well, at the time when I moved there, it was a great period because, you know, the Elephant Six Collective was just sort of blossoming at that point, and there's all these great like-minded people that were there. And that was the first time I was always looking for, you know, a scene that I could be a part of, and so, you know, right away that was just obvious. Like, this is incredible. You know what's happening.
Yeah.
All these people love Beach Boys' Smile, which is like at that time, you know, it hadn't come out yet. It was just bootlegs, and, you know, for people to even know the Beach Boys were, you know, more than just like surf songs was really rare. And so to find these people that love, like, you know, We Are the Village Green Preservation Society and all these classic
Yeah.
records, and I was like, God, I have all these people, you know, and they would turn me on to music. Like, they turned me on to Os Mutantes, they turned me on to Pretty Things, they turned me on to White Noise, and, you know, all these great bands and these classic albums, Kevin Ayers, you know, it's like, and so, you know, it's just like, God, this is amazing. And it was just like a really explosive time creatively.
Yeah. And speaking of the collective, you lived with Neutral Milk Hotel's Jeff Mangum for a while, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it was me and Jeff and Will and Bill from the Olivia Tremor Control, and a bunch of people, Tim Root, who did artwork for us and stuff. Just, all these people just lived in this kind of rundown house. We built like a skateboard ramp in the
Yeah.
living room, and
Yeah.
you know, it was you know, chaos, but it was great. It was like the Young Ones or something. You know?
So do you think Neutral Milk Hotel will ever make another album, or should they make another album?
Definitely. I mean, Jeff is so talented, and
Yeah.
I mean, there's no reason. I mean,
Yeah.
he probably has like, you know, months worth of material recorded, but he's just sitting on it just because, I don't know, maybe he reached this point where, you know, you think about that. There's a lot of people, they just want to make art, and it's just fun for them to make art, and they don't even care about sharing it, you know, with
Yeah.
the world, you know. I think there's a lot of people like that, you know, that insanely talented and whatever. I mean, maybe I always wonder about that. Like, is it insecurity that makes you want to release your art?
I don't know.
Or, you
Probably,
know.
yeah, I suppose.
Right.
I mean, on some level, I think it's like you look for that affirmation. You want people to like say, "Hey, this is great," and but if you don't need that, then maybe you don't need to release it.
Yeah, I always thought that album In the Airplane Over the Sea is just one of the most wonderful albums I've ever heard in my life. Just
Yeah.
a very powerful story and great songs, and they're so simple. There was a simplicity about it that's just fantastic. So I saw you're making an album with one of the guys from MGMT. What'd you call that project?
Blick Fang.
Yeah. So album on the way, or what's the story there?
Hopefully, you know, like we've already spent the advance, so
Yeah.
better put out something.
Time to start to get creative and start writing some songs then, huh?
Yeah.
How about some more live music here from of Montreal on 89.3 The Current? What are you going to play for us?
We're gonna play two songs that go together on Skeletal Lamping. The first one's called "Touch Something's Hollow," and the other one is called "An Eluardian Instance."
Very good. Here it is on The Current.
so damaged? Why am I such trouble, girl? I don't know how long I can hold on if it's gonna be like this forever. Does she know you should know that I am not just searching for some first time high? I know it's all about perceptions, and I accept you as my very first mover. Ooh. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. La, 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 la. I remember riding bikes on Costa Island, plotting midnight raids on the Swedish plum trees. That summer, it was too cold to swim, so we climbed upon the rocky shore and freaked out on the mountain goats, but they were not impressed or scared of us. Do you remember last summer as independence? Do you remember? Our last summer as independence? Do you remember? Our last summer as independence? Do you remember? Our last summer as independence? Do you remember? I was a foreigner when you appeared from the shadows at the Mono Club. I was a hater in the depths of an emotional hibernation. You sat me down, we had some drinks, and you told me all kinds of insanity. I asked your friend if you were available. She answered no, but yes, well, yes, you know. Now I'm viewing my memory reel in reverse, scrolling back to come to feel your weather then. Now I'm noting the hymnals of our parabola to predict the points of thou shalt not return. This inbreeding of ideas is intolerable. I here. Can't take your persecution complex, and I'm not gonna absorb your stress output anymore. Don't pimp out my heart, don't you pimp out my heart.
'89.3 The Current, live in the studio with Of Montreal, and that's Touched Something Hollow into an Eluardian instance. Is that right? Did I say that correct?
Yeah, touch something's hollow.
There you go. There you go. Thank you for that. I saw that you did once did a comedy tour with your brother and your wife. Is that true?
Yeah, I don't know how funny it was, but
Do you have a nice, clean, airworthy joke for us that you could wrap things up with?
it wasn't really like that. It wasn't stand-up comedy. It was,
Oh, okay.
it was more like,
Improv?
yeah, kind of improv, physical, musical craziness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's more just kind of like, look at me, I'm wearing a lion mask and getting punched in the nuts or whatever.
Well, I want to thank Derek Stevens for producing, and I want to thank Michael DeMarc for engineering, and I want to thank you guys for dropping by. It's Of Montreal live on the airwaves. Thanks for coming. It's been great to have you here.
Thank you.